Hi, thanks for joining me today. So, are you getting to that point where you're panicked about the holiday cards that you haven't quite finished yet? Well, I have got a great card design for you today. It's simple, you can do it with no problem. This is Gently with Gentastic Journey, and today we are going to just pull out a bunch of pattern paper, specifically pattern paper that has a scene in the back of it, or a scene for the design. And then we're just going to jazz it up by adding a nice matting layer, or if you don't have matting layers, you can color some cardstock and stick it behind it. Anything to give it just a little bit more. So this is an adorable little snowman. He's carrying a cute little bag, and we're going to put some really pretty kind of a coppery mirror cardstock behind him. And then this is the part where we just need to jazz this up a little bit. So we'll take out some pretty ribbon. And if you don't have ribbon, this could just be another piece of cardstock that maybe has a pretty design in it, or maybe some flecks of color in it. And we're going to add something to it, because this is a little bit cheating when you use just pattern paper, but not really. It's still handmade, it's still designed specifically for someone, and I'm even really cheating today by putting a little bit of tape runner on the back of this ribbon. And I'll find that it leaves it a little bit sticky, but you can use your little bag of powder that we use when we wet emboss, and we can use that. And then I cut out all of these sentiments and sentiment strips, and I'm just seeing what goes well here. I will include in the description box below all of my supplies, but also these sentiments are from Natasha Foote. If you haven't watched her card crafting videos, they are just amazing. I love watching her. And she has a card design website where she teaches classes, and she also has these free little sentiments that you can download. So now I'm using my Wink of Stella. I bought some that's red and green and gold, and I have some in silver, and I'm just adding a little bit of sparkle, because I think if you add a little bit of sparkle to a card, it makes the card, right? So I put some on his nose, I put some on the sentiment, and now I'm putting some gold on his hat. And unfortunately, the light when you record this online is not the best, but I promise you this thing sparkles, and I just love it. So I'm just putting a little bit of Wink of Stella everywhere and anywhere I can think of. I even decide to color in the Merry Christmas on the sentiment, which I think looks beautiful. So now he's this glittery little snowman, and he's got a glittery background with that matting layer that I used, and the little bit of ribbon I am assuming will not cause me to have to pay any extra in the mail. So these cards are all going to be nice and fairly flat, so that we can avoid paying additional postage. So again, I'm going to use a tape runner. This is AdTech tape runner. It's one of my favorites because it really doesn't ever give me any problems. Sometimes I have problems if I use refills, so I tend to just buy them just fully loaded and go that way. But I feel like they're fairly inexpensive, and I can get them at Hobby Lobby, and I can also order them in bulk off of Amazon. All right, so there we are so far, and if you guys know me, I always like to include something on the inside, but I have these little flat stickers, and they look like they're gem embellishments, but they're just little flat stickers. So we're going to throw some of those on there and then make it even look like it has more dimension, even though that isn't really dimension. Okay, and then for the inside, I like to always coordinate my in and my outside of the card. So I'm going to use a little bit of that leftover mirror paper, and we're going to just attach it there. I like sometimes to put little corners. And then we'll pull out those little pretend gems stickers and we'll just add those on there. And it doesn't have to be fancy, but just something different. And this is what you usually don't get when you buy a store-bought card. You can't really make your inside all as fun as the outside. So that's a part that I don't usually skip. And then off camera, I do add a sentiment to all of my cards. I just don't do it while I'm videotaping because it does take a little bit longer, and I like to make different ones depending if it's family or if it's going to friends, or if I'm just going to leave it blank so that when I need a card, I have one, whatever you need. So I liked how that came out. So the next thing I'm going to do is take all of the same card grouping, and I'm just going to cut these apart, and I'm going to add a bunch of sparkle and just little different embellishments, and I am going to show you what they all look like. And so here they all are. This one, I put some of that Wink of Stella in the fire, and then this one, there's Wink of Stella all over it, the glittery Christmas tree, and then I did the same with the Wink of Stella, and a lot of those, you can see I used a lot of those little stickers, and then I cut out I had some dies with some words like peace and joy and Merry Christmas. I used my green Wink of Stella on the greenery in that one, and this one says believe, and then this little reindeer guy is adorable. It says believe, and I used pops of color, and I made little snowflakes and little snowdrops. And with this little girl, I also put a ton of little pops of color in the back, and then a Merry Christmas die I used for her Merry Christmas. And then here's the first one that you guys already saw, and he is just adorable and one of my favorites. And again, these are flat, so you won't need to worry about trying to get them in the mail with additional cost. Here are all the cards, just glimpses of each one, just to let you know that these can be absolutely beautiful, and they're handcrafted in the sense that you added all these embellishments to it. They will look beautiful as your Christmas card, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I have another video of some quick Christmas cards coming out in the next couple of days, so look for that. And if you would, please click the like button and let me know that you enjoyed this content. Also, if you would, you can subscribe to my small channel. I'd love to see you in future videos. Thanks so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful holiday season.